Okay. You know, I've been a YouTuber now for 7 years. And I've been full-time for 4 next month. And the adpocalypse 2 years ago hurt. It still hurts. Things have changed, not necessarily for the better. And the changing algorithm is always a motherfucker. It's always a pain in the ass. And it's something that no matter what, we all have to deal with on a near constant basis all the damn time. You know, and last year, you had that woman go to YouTube headquarters and open fire because of the demonetization. She didn't kill anyone, thank God. And then she turned the gun on herself. And it's been a constant fear. VidCon this last year. There was concern. There was extra security, heightened security. Because people were afraid that something like that would happen again. Because when people's livelihoods are on the line, and YouTube decides it wants to make a massive shift that impacts that overnight, and they don't tell you about it, people get mad. People get upset. People do dumb things. And that's kind of what the story is right here. This guy named Kyle Long allegedly threatened Google because he believes it shut down his channel. And he traveled cross country to do it too. You know, people travel when they're pissed. Now, an allegedly disgruntled YouTube user drove across the country and was arrested before he could settle his perceived beef. Kyle Long, 33, from Waterville, Maine, was taken into custody about 2 miles from the headquarters of Google, which owns YouTube, according to police in Mountain View, California. He was booked on suspicion of making criminal threats, and he was being held in lieu of $25,000 bail in the Santa Clara County Jail on Tuesday. So they got this guy 2 miles away from YouTube's headquarters. He traveled over 3,000 miles because he was upset. That's the second time in a year someone has traveled, in essence, kind of across the country. I mean, the woman last year was from San Diego. So it's just driving up like the 5, but it's still, it's a thing. It's a distance to make a trek because they're frustrated at YouTube. Anyway, the Maine resident first came on the radar of authorities in Adair County, Iowa on Friday when his car got stuck in the ditch. Kyle Long was also suspected of vandalizing a gas station restroom, but police let him go because the station's owners were not interested in having him prosecuted. While in Iowa, he told the state trooper that he was mad at Google for allegedly shutting down his YouTube channel, which gave instruction to other users on how to boost viewership and earn money. So this guy was running one of those kind of channels, like the, hey, how to survive YouTube in 2018. 5 tips to grow your channel overnight. 18 ways you can master the Google algorithm. And apparently avoiding, getting shut down from clickbait reasons. Or probably a number of other violations, especially if you're trying to talk people how to earn money, boost viewership. It's entirely possible. I don't know if this guy was doing it, but there were for a while a lot of channels talking about those websites that you could boost, like a kind of a like for a like sort of thing. You go in there and you build points by following people on Twitter, and then you basically pay people to subscribe to your channel. It was the thing for a while. I'm pretty sure those websites still exist. I have no idea though. Now, Ludwig didn't specify what Kyle Long allegedly said about YouTube, saying here it was enough to make a call to Maine to find out more. It was just enough to raise concerns. Now, isn't that kind of weird? Because, most people, if you explain to them that you do YouTube for a living, you're met usually with a blank stare. And this happens to me all the time when I meet people and like, oh, what do you do for a living? I'm like, oh, I do YouTube. And they're like, what the fuck does that even mean? I'm like, I make videos. And they're like, yes, that part I understand. But how the fuck do you make money? And I'm all like, well, there's a multitude of ways. And I kind of, I give a quick overview. But it doesn't register with them on how it works. It doesn't register with them on anything like that. So they look at it as more like, huh? Like, that's nice, sweetie. I'm really happy you make your little videos on the internet, and you make some pocket change. And I'm like, I bought a house. The point is, people don't get it. They don't get it. So something this guy said would have triggered a police officer to want to make a follow-up phone call back to this dude's hometown to find out more. That is what I find to be fascinating. Now, he's not specifying what it is, but you know it would have had to have been something. Maybe not so much what Kyle said, but specifically how he said it. And maybe this officer knew or remembered the incident of the woman going and shooting up YouTube and just happened to connect the dots. To me, that's probably the most likely scenario, but still, it's fascinating nonetheless. Now, the suspect's father told NBC News on Tuesday that YouTube didn't shut down his son's channel. The elder said that his daughter-in-law, Kyle Long's wife, was the one who disabled it because it was gibberish. So the dude who was arrested 2 miles from Google's headquarters was pissed off at Google, thinking that it shut down his channel when his wife had gone in and nuked it. That's interesting. Saying here, his wife took it down as soon as he put it up. It didn't make any sense. It was dumb. It was crazy. He showed it to me, and it was the most bizarre thing. It wasn't reality. Now, that's the thing. As a person who does this as a job, I now want to see that. I've spent the last 2 years deep diving into the YouTube algorithm, reading and researching everything I could, going to many different meetups and seminars and instructional things in order to understand the platform. Because I want to know what's going on. You know, this has been my life for 7 years. So it makes sense for me to be informed. So what did this guy do that was so crazy that his wife disabled it, and his own father was like, yo, that should be cray-cray. Like, that's what I want to know. What did he do? What did he do? Was this like a Beautiful Mind scenario going on here? Just him like drawing shit on a whiteboard, like algorithm and 2 + 2 = 18 dicks. You know, what does it mean? Now, Kyle here spent 5 years behind bars in Connecticut for manslaughter conviction for driving his car into a utility pole, which killed his classmate in 2002. The younger Long has been in and out of jail and on and off psychotropic medications ever since getting out of prison in 2008. Okay, well, his father says he hopes that this arrest will help him out. Now, when I first saw the picture here of Kyle, I was immediately reminded of another YouTuber. And I want you guys to look at this real quick, and I want you guys to just take a second and just think of the very first YouTuber that comes to mind. And I want you to write it in the comments. The very first YouTuber that comes to mind, just when you look at this guy, who do you think it is? Who do you think it looks like? And no, it's not me. This is what I saw when I first looked at it. It looks like Armored Skeptic a little bit like the eyes, like they could be brothers or cousins or something. Is how I view that. That's how I saw that. But at the end of the day, this guy, Kyle Long, you know, we don't know his intent. We don't know what he set out to do. We don't know anything. All we know about Kyle is that he had said something to an officer in Iowa that got that officer to contact Maine. And then they said something to them to contact Google and let Google know and let the Santa Clara police know that this guy, who may or may not resemble Armored Skeptic, was traveling to there for whatever reason. We have no idea. But again, when it comes to the concept of YouTube and YouTubers and how much they end up putting themselves into this world, how much they dedicate themselves to this world, how much of themselves make it into this world, and then when that's all taken away, how they respond to that is very interesting to me, because I do not believe that we are going to see the last of this kind of shit. YouTube, if you haven't noticed, has been cracking down on a lot of things. Channels are shut down for offensive comedy over an event from 4-5 years ago. It's weird. It is odd. And you never really know. It almost feels like every day is a game of Russian roulette. But we all play it. Every one of us plays it. And I'll tell you this, and this is just me being honest here, I don't think anyone would have it any other damn way. I mean that. I don't think anyone would have it any other damn way.